Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the socially responsible distancing edition of Musings by Nikki. It's lovely to be gathered with more than 10 of you and know that none of us are going to pass any germs between us. This is the beauty of YouTube and online. So welcome, my lovely friends from all of your hunkered down in places. Who knows what's going on in the world right now? Do not know. Kind of feels like Panem. Kind of feels like some weird surreal episode of Doomsday Preppers, or like zombie apocalypse. And I just don't know quite what to say about most of that. I had to, I've asked all of the Musings by Nikki employees to go home and work from home because our studio is only like 8 by 10 and it's not big enough for appropriate socially responsible distancing. Just kidding, I don't have any employees. So it's really awesome. We're actually really prepared for this over here because I work from home. My girls do online school already, and my husband has the opportunity to kind of work from home whenever he wants to anyway, so he's just transitioned to full-time working from home. So we actually are very blessed, and very, in all honesty and all seriousness, I pray that all of you are in a safe and healthy place, and that that you are able to find ways to occupy your time in safe and healthy ways. And if you are not healthy or not feeling well, then I pray that you will get better very soon. I have suffered through a flu-like thing. My husband is pretty convinced that I've had coronavirus. I just have all the symptoms except the fever. But here's the great thing. Don't worry, guys, because if I cough, even if I don't cover it, you're not going to get it from me. And I'm already socially distanced from some of you by hundreds of miles and by some of you oceans, so we're all good. Anyhow, I'll stop being a dork and we'll look through this pile of digis that I've recently put in my shop. Also, there's going to be a freebie after this. In the midst of this, and then at the end of this we're going to have a giveaway because I just feel like there needs to be some happiness out in the world right now, and so we're not just doing a giveaway, we're doing a massive mega giveaway, and I will talk about that at the end of this. So anyway, without further ado, I've got all kinds of stuff, so I'm going to push this aside. Let's see, I'm going to push this, where am I going to push? Over here. And let's just take a look. So I got these things called stamps, and I have been I've been loving what some people have been doing with, I'm going to zoom in here a little. Oops, too far, too close. With making like stamps and stuff. So I wanted to do some digital sheets of stamps, faux stamps. And so these, they work great for collage and but you can put them on belly bands, layer them up on a belly band. I mean, you can do all kinds of things with these, right? Snippet rolls, stick them just down in the corners of your pages, and, all kinds of wonderful things. So this one is called Farm Fresh Postage Stamps. And as you can see, it's got like gingham and burlap and kind of barnwood backgrounds with fruits and veggies. So there's that one. Apples, grapes, squash, all that fun stuff. Then we have Cheerful Butterflies postage stamps. And those have a bunch of different butterflies with kind of patterned backgrounds. Some of them have cancellation marks and some don't. I should tell you, hold on, that each stamp measures approximately 1 3/4 by like 1.5 inches. So that's about how big most of these are. So we got butterflies. Then we have cheerful flowers. And these go with another kit. Well, these go with actually a couple different kits. My Shabby Florals kit. These would go well with. It goes well with one of the other kits that I just am putting out today. And then lastly, we have vintage American postage stamps. So these are super fun. I have been using these right now in a journal that I'm working on. So those are my 4 new sets of stamps that are in the shop. Then I have 2 sets of, we're calling these word cards. They're kind of like flashcards, but I have always been, just a quick aside here, the inspiration for these, I've always been interested in words that are kind of obscure, that we don't really use all that much, that are sometimes like newer words that have been invented to express the meaning of something. And also, since English clearly is my first language, I've also loved the fact that other languages have words to express a thought or a feeling that takes us in English like a whole sentence or a whole paragraph to explain. So I love I love reading about those and finding out about those. So that's where this was born out of. This is called Fascinating Word Cards. And pardon me, I actually just covered my cough because it's like habit. So these are words. A lot of them are words from other languages that have some kind of great expression behind them. So like this one, Goya, is Urdu. It says a momentary suspension of disbelief that occurs when fantasy is so realistic that it temporarily becomes reality, usually associated with a story very well told. So look, isn't that super cool, right? So there are 3 pages of these. I have 3 pages, and they are super fun. They're from Tagalog, German, Spanish, Japanese, Portuguese, Yiddish, Russian, Norwegian, Danish, Old English. This one's Old English, Greek. There's, I think, a Latin one. So yeah, so there are 3 pages of these super cool, fascinating word cards. And then, as I was doing it, some of the words that I really like are kind of nature related. So these are called peculiar nature word cards. And so these they're on kind of like a mulberry paper background, leaves and some little flower buddy things and stuff. And so again, it's the same type of idea, but it is, again, words that have to do with kind of like things that we can't express in English without a whole sentence. I hope I'm making sense. As I'm saying this, I'm like getting lost in my head. Anyway, some of these are English. Some of these are like words that they use in British English, and that we just don't use here in America. And I think there is maybe 1 or 2, like verdant. That's a word that we use, but I love that word. And then some of these are like Korean, Greek, Swedish, German, and they're just gorgeous. They're beautiful. They're beautiful thoughts, right? So like, and I don't even know how to say all of them. Komorebi, the interplay between light and leaves when the sunlight shines through the trees. We have to say a whole sentence to say that, but how gorgeous is that? I just love the thought behind some of these. So I thought these would be great to stick in any journal really, but also in nature-based journals. Then along the same lines of kind of going down this journey with like words, loving words and getting into words and kind of being a, word file. I also put together another rip strip of definitions called The Most Beautiful Words. And these are just some of my favorite kind of more obscure English words. Now, I did not list this in Etsy because I totally forgot, to be honest. I just totally forgot when I was listing all the rest of these things in Etsy. I totally forgot to make an Etsy file for this and everything. So what I'm going to do is put it as a freebie on my Facebook page. So my Facebook page is always listed below. It's just simply Musings by Nikki. You can look that up. Or if you're friends with me on Facebook, Nikki Adigan, you can find it through, I'm sure I'll have it linked through my page too, but you can find it through my page. You can find the link to Musings by Nikki. Anyway, this will go as a freebie on Musings by Nikki. And it has some really cool words on it, and these again, these are just really interesting things to kind of add interest to the side of a page, or a card. They're great in the background. Rip them up, tear them up, whatever. Right now we need a panacea. It's Greek. It means a remedy for all diseases, evils, or difficulties, a cure-all. And we need panacea like right now. Okay, enough on that. Next, all you all have been posting all of these amazing, like, masterboards are a thing right now. And so, kind of inspired by that, I have created 2 kits called Torn. So this one is Torn Florals, and then I have Torn Vintage Papers and Bits. That's the kit name for that, because sometimes I just completely lose inspiration when it comes to naming a kit. And I don't want to just name it kit number 47 or something. So sometimes it just gets really literal. Anyway, this kit, so the Florals kit, is torn vintage wallpapers or end papers in the background. And I like tear them up digitally and then layer them in. And then I have torn additional pieces of paper around the outside edges, and then place some florals on them. So like ripped up, right? Like that, layered up, ripped up. Okay, so in this kit you get 5 layered pages like this, but you also get the plain page like this. So you get with the florals over here, or without the florals like this. So you could get this kit if you love this and don't love this, you don't have to print this. If you love this and don't love this, I'm going to tell you in a second what to do about that. So you can use these as like pages in your journals. You can tear these out, tear them apart. This is kind of, my thought behind this was kind of like a build your own kit. And I will give you an example of how I'm using some of it in just a second. Also with this kit in particular, you get a faded version. So here's the bright version of the page, and then you get a faded version of each of the 5 collage pages as well. So you can use these as like a, you can print it on the back side of the flower page. So there's your flower page, and then print the faded one on the back side, because these will work really well. They're faded out enough that you could easily journal on them. So there's the 3 versions of each of the 5 main kit pages. Okay, so there's one. Here's the next one. Some cute little zigzags. So there's the one without the flowers, and there's the faded version. These would work great, the floral ones, these would work great in like a baby journal, a spring journal. I think they would combine, like these pages would combine great with a lot of the other beautiful spring kits that are out there right now, floral kits that are out there. It totally reminds me of like Holly Hobby. If you guys know who Holly Hobby is, or if you grew up with that, my mom we had like Holly Hobby blankets when we were growing up in our bedroom, and this kind of color scheme and aesthetic totally reminds me of Holly Hobby for some reason. And then there's the faded version of that one. Here is the 3rd page. So there's the florals. There's the collage without florals, and there's the faded version. And then here is the 5th page with layered florals. And then without the florals. And the faded one. Then I took the layered pieces without the florals, and instead of cutting the edges off of them, I kind of left them as just the block with the raw edges. So you could fussy cut these and turn them into pockets or journaling cards or whatever. You could square them off and just cut the middle part off and create tuck spots and pockets and stuff. You could cut across, slice them into strips and make washi out of them, sew them along the edges of papers, put them along the edges of pockets. Again, this is kind of a design your own kit, and so you can make your own kit elements out of these pieces as well. So then here's another one where I've done a couple of strips of washi for you, or belly band, so you can cut those apart and layer them in. And then I've done a couple just of the bigger pieces of collage here. Then here's you get 3 pages of just the floral bits that are layered on top of this kind of vintage grid paper. So here's where it gets kind of fun. You can take you can take these pages, slice them down into tags and pockets and envelopes and all kinds of things. And then you can tear the florals off of here that are layered up, or you can tear the florals out of here or cut them or fussy cut them or do whatever you want and layer them on top of the tags and things that you cut. And now you have a whole matching set of things for your journal, and it allows you a little bit more freedom to kind of make the elements or things that you want for your kit. So there are 3 sheets of the torn flowers like that. You can also clearly print these out and use them as pages in your journal just as is as well. That would be fun. So you'll see that how I've kind of, well, I'll explain more in a second. So that one is called Torn Florals. Now, here is Torn Vintage Papers and Bits, because I don't know what else to call it. So same basic concept, except instead of flowers, there are just little vintage bits of ephemera and things and stuff and junk, all kind of scattered around on top of the background. Now, because the backgrounds are not as bright and harder to write on as the other ones, I didn't provide a faded copy of each one, because these are kind of just more neutral tones anyway, and you could really easily write on those. So you get, again, 5 of the pages with the elements scattered, and then here's the corresponding sheet without the image or without the stuff. Then here's another one with the, look at this cute puppy. Oh, look at him. Keys, postage cards, tickets, clock, a chain, some ephemera bits, typewriter key things. And then here it is without. Here's the next one. We got a typewriter, some tickets, keys, some cogs, pen and some nibs. And then here it is without. Here is the 4th one, I believe. Did I lose track? No, I think this is the 4th one. So we got some metal bits, buttons, a book. This old guy, I love this guy. Look at him. I can't ever decide if he's kind of smiling. I don't know. And then this cute little baby. So we've got that one. And then here is its one collage piece without the stuff. Then, last but not least, we've got this page with some tags and tickets and stamps, this black feather, some gloves and glasses. So we've got that, and then here it is without any of the stuff scattered on it. Then here are the kind of journal card kit element pieces. I don't even know what you want to call them. Collage blocks. There we go. That sounds good. That sounds professional. These are the collage blocks. And then some washi strips and more collage blocks. And then here are the 3 sheets of ephemera. So I've just taken the stuff that I had there and put it all onto this kind of light paper background for you to use as pages in a kit just like this, or in a journal just like this. Cut them down into tag. You can use these as tags, as envelopes, as tuck spots, but you can also fussy cut all the elements. So I ran these 3 sheets through my new Scan and Cut. It's my favorite thing in the whole world right now. So I ran it through my Scan and Cut, and it cut out all these little elements. And so I'm going to show you in a second, once I show you this last page, kind of the realization of, like what it was that I've been dreaming up in my head with this. So here's kind of what I was thinking. You can take those pieces that are not layered. You could take the layered pieces too, but I kind of like doing it with the not layered pieces, and then cut them into, so like this is a pocket, and here is how I've used that same type of thing in an actual journal page. So I've layered it up, I cut up, here's some of those definition rip strips, and then the rest of this stuff, I've used scraps from, this is a scrap of music from my thing, but the rest of this is either from my stamps or from the different little bits and pieces that you get on those collage pieces. Then I just sewed around it, and here we go, we've got a super cool pocket. Then this one is going to be a tuck spot, and this is going to be a tuck spot as well. And now let me show you how I've actually made some of those things. So here I cut a piece of it, I printed it on cardstock, and I cut a piece of it out, and so the background already looks layered, and then I've layered in some of my rip strips, some of my old music, and then just a bunch of the little bits and pieces from the kit. Oh, and one of my grungy labels, and I put that over some muslin and then sewed around this thing, and look how fun that is. It's like a whole collage kit. Then here is a little tuck spot, so this will go down at the bottom of a page, and again I cut it out so the back is already layered up, so you don't have to worry about doing all the layering. Then you can just I threw some music paper in again, and then you throw on the bits and pieces from the kit, and I put a little muslin, and voila, super fun. Excuse me. Here is the tuck spot I was talking about. So this will go on the edge of a page. And you can tuck stuff in, and I'll probably sew it on. But here I put this hanky in here and layered it with some cheesecloth and some stamps and elements. And then I made this. This is in there. Oops, that way. And I turned this little bit into a pocket for it. And this little guy came off of the fussy cut sheet too, and that's on a little brad and some postage stamps. And then this is so awesome because it already looks, it looks like you worked hard to layer stuff up, but instead you just got to put the fun layering. Then, let's see, I've got, I turned this time card into a pocket. So this is one of those time cards, right? And I had coffee stained it. And then I just have I have one of my word cards in there and one of my flash cards from one of my other kits. And then I've just layered up a grungy label and some of the bits and pieces from the kit. Then here I made one of my long, if you guys follow Gina at the Firefly Studio 67, I made her a friendship page, and she was asking where these bags come from. They come from an American restaurant called Chili's. I think I've shown this before, but you guys, if you ever go to Chili's, if you eat around here, if you live in the US and there's a Chili's by you, grab the silverware bags. They're super awesome for this. Anyway, that's an aside. So here again, I cut a piece to cover the front of this, and then I just layered in a bunch of the stuff. Here's one of my definition rip strips. Here's some nibs and some stamps, that cool feather, the clock. And then I did the same for a tag in here. Excuse me. Layer, this is just the background. I put one of my words and then a whole bunch of my Vintage American postage stamps layered up on there. So cool. So there's another journal element. And then finally I took one of the trifold weekly time card things and I made this cute little element that'll go in there as well. And it opens up and it's just got a little pocket here. And then it will become a pocket on the back side too. But yeah, so I just, again, I was able to layer up a little collage super quick because I've got all the little bits and pieces laying around on the side. So that is all. Oh, so that is the torn kits. Then I have one more kit, sorry. Yep, because I've been busy. This one is called Sweet Dainty Roses. It's like, and now for something totally different. Hold on, let me take a sip of my coffee so my throat is getting a little scratchy. All right, so now for something totally different. Sweet Dainty Roses. Sometimes I just catch inspiration from the most random places, and that's kind of what happened with this. I was on this whole vintage bits thing, and then all of a sudden one day I was like, oh, sweet roses and bright springy colors. So, I don't know. This is what you get. So, here we go with this kit. It has, I think, 12 pages of beautiful flowers and roses, layered up backgrounds, some Victorian kind of borders, hand-drawn borders, and then faded versions, which you could use as the, to print on the backs of these pages or as separate pages altogether. Another one is kind of a real light green with yellow flowers. And then there's a little butterfly on there. There's the background. This one's kind of a light yellow with some beautiful groups of roses. And there's the faded version. And then here's kind of a lavender, lilac colored roses, butterfly, and then some scripty background. And there's the faded version of that page. And then finally we've got this kind of tealish one with kind of some dark red, almost maroonish kind of roses, butterfly, and there's that one faded. Then you get some journaling cards, journal elements, tags, whatever you want to call them. Love these. Don't this just make you happy? It makes me happy. Nice big envelope and then a couple of round elements down here. These should all cut out with a 2-inch punch because I suck at cutting circles. So for ease of use, if you have a 2-inch punch, there you go. You're welcome. Here's a bunch of tags with the lovely roses on them. Here are a couple of tall coin envelopes. This is kind of a rip strip. You could use it as, washi, you could use it as whatever. Here's some words down here that you can tear out or cut out and use. A couple of belly bands. So you could, with these, you could fussy cut them out, or if you want to, you can just use your paper cutter and slice down and you'll still get a lovely layered rose belly band. You can use it as washi. You can use that as whatever you want. And then here you go, these 2 belly bands. You could print this page several times. You can cut these elements out all together and just use them as journal cards, and then save this because you can fold it over and use it as pull tabs on the tops of tags, or you can use it as tabs on the side of a page. So save all those little bits. You can use them for all kinds of stuff. You can use them as snippets with some of that rip strip on the previous page, or tear some of this up and use it as little snippets. You get this page of just some extra little bits and pieces of ephemera, little Victorian bits. This cute corset layered with roses, some like calling cards and postcards. So you get that. And then lastly, you get some labels, a couple of pockets, a long tuck spot here, and a couple of fussy cut roses. So that is that one. Sweet Dainty Roses. There is that one. Okay. So that's all the digitals. Wow, it's a half hour. Now. Dun, 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 dun. It's time for the COVID-19 giveaway. That's right, guys. I've decided that COVID stands for cover my subbies in digis for 19 days. See? COVID giveaway. This is what happens when you have too much time on your hands and too much exposure to media talking about COVID-19. However, so I think sometimes we have to make light of things like this, because otherwise, just how are you gonna make it through this stuff? So in order to spread a little sunshine to my little corner of the world for the next 19 days, I will be giving away one of these 3 prize sets. This is how it's going to work. It's going to be based on the comments in this video. So every time I draw for the next 19 days, I will draw from the comments on this video, which means that for 19 days, the comments will probably get bigger, so the pool will get bigger, right? Get it? But you can only win once. So if you've already won and somehow draws your name again, I will just redraw and look for somebody else who didn't draw. So 19 individual winners. So in order to be entered in the draw, well, first let me tell you what the fabulous prize packages. You'll get to choose, because, then that makes it extra fun. Prize number 1, both new torn kits and the Sweet Dainty Roses kit. So prize number 1 is you would get both of my new kits and the torn kits and the Sweet Dainty Roses. Prize number 2, all the new stamps and word card kits. I meant to put and flashcard kits too. Basically, all kinds of fun digi ephemera. Or prize number 3, if you don't want either of these because maybe you already go out and buy them, or maybe there's something you've had your eye on or whatever, it would be your choice of any 5 digis in my shop. Which, I mean, honestly, that's probably the best deal here. But if you already own a bunch of the digis from my shop that you want, then, one of these 2, who knows? So, in order to enter the COVID-19 giveaway, you would need to comment. First of all, please like the video. I can't see that you liked it or anything, but that just makes me feel happy if you like the video. 2, you have to be subscribed. So that you do have to do. You have to be a subscriber to my channel in order to win one of the days of giveaway. And then also you have to comment down below. Now you only have to comment 1 time. If you comment more than once, you will still only get entered 1 time. So please only comment 1 time. But what I want you to comment with is one of 2 things. 1, the more sedate thing you can comment is what you are having fun doing. What's your favorite thing to do while you are, staying indoors, being socially responsibly distanced from everybody, self-quarantining, whatever that looks like for you, wherever you are on whatever part of the planet you're on right now. What's your favorite thing to do right now during this weird uncertainty that is facing our whole planet? What are you doing that makes you happy or brings you joy? I'm going to guess most of you are going to say crafting, but I'm looking for cool answers. Not that will help you win, but I just want to hear what you have to say. The second comment that you could make, if you don't want to talk about what your favorite thing to do is, and if you have some sort of brilliant idea, here in America, for some reason, toilet paper is at a premium. For some reason, like, and here's what I thought. You know, Karen's doing her shopping. She's walking along. It's the beginning of the thing, the COVID thing, like, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. And she's at, her grocery store or Walmart, and she sees that there's only like 4 toilet papers left. And she goes, oh, I need toilet paper. And she thinks, what if this is because they're running low? And so then she buys all 4. Then the next person comes along and sees that there's none and panics and then goes to a different store and buys a whole bunch. And there you go. A pandemic of toilet paper hoarding is born. That's my theory. However, I would love to hear your theories on why Americans need so much toilet paper right now. Because really, I'm at a loss. So 2 ways that you can enter this giveaway: by commenting down below your favorite thing to do right now during this kind of COVID-19 pandemic, global pandemic, or what you think the Americans are doing with all the toilet paper in their house. Give me your best guesses, because I would love to hear it. Anyway, I will do a drawing every day. And I'm not going to try and mess with, like, if I don't hear from you, I'm redrawing all that stuff, because 19 days, this is enough for me to remember in my little brain. And so if you win, if I draw and you win, please send me an email. I will have my email address linked below all the whole time. Please send me an email as soon as you can to let me know, like, hey, I'm that person you drew, and then we'll get your digis over to you. We'll cover you in digis for 19 days. That's what we're doing, guys, because that's fun. So anyway, that said, I hope that you all, in all seriousness again, I hope that you're all doing well. I hope that you have peace, that you aren't fearful, that you know that this too shall pass. I know that this is going to be something that we'll be recovering from, and will have far-reaching repercussions, farther than I think, and tumble-down domino things will happen. But it's happening to our entire world. It's not exclusive to one country or one state or one province. This is something that everyone in our whole world is dealing with right now. So we can choose to let it separate us and divide us, or we can choose to let it be something that unites us and brings us together. And I know it sounds weird to say that around a pandemic, but it just shows us that we are more similar than we are different. Everyone can have problems with this. Everyone can catch the same diseases. Everyone will have to deal with this sort of stuff. So how we respond as humans, I think, really is kind of a test of our mettle. So I'm so pleased and glad to see all of the beautiful and wonderful stuff that's coming out of this. And I hope that that is where you're at right now as well. If not, then I really pray that you're able to find peace and find safety, and that you stay healthy. And in the meantime, let's do some crafting. Let's do some giveaways. Let's do some fun. Let's spread some joy. Let's do some gratitude. Let's remember all the things that are still good in our world. So there you go. That's my little weird soapbox moment on the journal. This book that I'm putting up together, I'm like 14 people away from 2,000 subscribers, you guys. I can't even believe it. So that's the other part of giveaway, is that once I hit 2,000 subscribers, I am making this journal and it will be a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. So, tell your friends about tell your friends about the COVID-19 giveaway. Bring 14 more people, guys. That's totally a selfish thing, but 2,000 would be incredible. I cannot believe that there are 2,000 people that want to listen to me. And see my stuff. Anyway, now I've been rambling for 40 minutes. So if you're still here, give it a thumbs up because you're the survivors. Anyway, until I see you guys tomorrow with the first of the 19-day giveaway, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, whatever time of day it is, on whatever side of this wonderful and marvelous planet of ours that you live on. And until tomorrow for the first day of giveaways, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Bye-bye.